Aloha and welcome to Beachwalks with Rocks. Today is show number 109. You can find us at beachwalks.tv, and today I have Jen with me of ebbandflow.tv.
Hi.
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 So one of the really interesting things about the internet is that Jen and I just met about 10 minutes ago in person. We've been getting to know each other online by virtue of being both video bloggers and finding each other through a group. But, you know, no matter what the physical distance, there's a way for people who have a heart or a soul connection to find each other and be able to act on that. So I just love that, and thank you for joining me today.
Sure.
So Jen has a video blog, ebbandflow.tv. Why don't you tell us what you're doing that for yourself?
Well, I have a video, just look at you. Okay. So I have a video blog with Kent, my husband, and it's called Ebb and Flow, and it's called Inner Peace, Outer Action. And we decided to start doing that as a personal video blog, a lot about the activist work that we do. And we use spirituality a lot, and we do engaged Buddhism, and so we got interested in spirituality kind of after activism. And so I think when you're doing activist work, it can be really hard. And the more that you take in about problems in the world and what's going on in the environment, and the more responsible you begin to feel, then you can get kind of sunk, and you can get angry. And the spiritual practice, so that's what led us to doing spiritual practice as a way of sort of connecting to another source and getting centered. And so I think the idea of doing spiritual practice and then from that place, then doing activism and making choices about how can I best interact in the world, how can I be most efficient in trying to make a difference and trying to help.
Yeah, I think that's a really brilliant approach because of all the things you said, of course. The way I like to think of it is to basically detach from the results of what I do. And when you're in the throes of the activism, that's heresy to people. No, you can't detach. You must be thinking and worrying all the time. And yet when you are thinking and worrying all the time, that I really believe infuses its own obstructive energy. And it doesn't allow solutions to bubble forth the way mindfulness and quiet and sometimes, you know, being able to say, you know, this is what I really passionately want to have happen. This is what I see as wrong. But the way to actually accomplish that is maybe not always by more fighting, but sometimes just quietly stepping back and allowing. I don't know if you agree with that or not. I'm kind of pushing it a little bit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of, I'm actually going to a workshop while I'm here in San Francisco called Engaged Spiritual Revolutionaries. And it's a workshop about meditation, and it's about Martin Luther King and Gandhi. And I think that a lot of people who have been able to make a big difference in the world have done that from a spiritual grounding, and that is where you can get resource and energy. And that's actually a workshop with Noah Levine, who is Stephen Levine's son.
Yes. Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, you know, many years ago, I learned about transcendental meditation. And, you know, one of the things I think that's interesting that they do is they have the scientific research component and having a science background. That's probably what appealed to me. But, you know, they've done these very practical studies where a group of people in, say, Chicago will meditate on lowering the crime rate for 30 days. And in fact, the crime rate will go down.
Right, yeah.
You know, and it's not because they took a gun out of anyone's hand. They didn't do any of those overt things that we think have to be done in order to affect change. They just held their space in their mind, heart, body, you know, space, and they had this effect. And, you know, wouldn't it be lovely if we could all stop having to, you know, fight? We could just meditate and create this world the way we want it to be.
Yeah, I have read this about that, and I mean, I come from much more activist than a spiritual background, and when I first was started doing meditating, I was very much like that. Like, how is this going to help? And I need to do something.
Yeah.
And the idea that those could be connected was preposterous to me. But I definitely think that having that kind of balance and knowing that the consciousness part is just as big as a part as the outer action, but that the outer action has to happen too.
Right, because otherwise we don't know about it.
Right.
You know, so it does definitely take people who are out there vocalizing, you know, occupying that space. But I do find it really reassuring that all the rest of us who don't want to do it that way or want, you know, who want to contribute in other ways, we now know that we can, and it will work.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I feel like a hug.
Yeah. Okay.
And thank you all for joining us today. Let us know what you think about outer action, inner spirituality. I'm sorry, tell me again your...
It's inner peace,
Inner
outer
peace,
action.
outer action. Yeah, I love that. I love that. All right, so if you want to Skype Lexi or me, it's Roxanne Darling, or by phone, it's 949-544-1456. Aloha from San Francisco.
Aloha.